POV, you come home from prison, and your wife's boyfriend is living in your house. Hey Reddit, buckle up. Never thought I'd be posting here, but my life went from American Dream to Jerry Springer episode in less than a year. I'm Mark, 32. Been a firefighter for almost a decade. Married to Emily, 26, for 4 years. We met at a friend's barbecue, hit it off fast, and within a year we were married. She was young, gorgeous, the type everyone called out of my league. My mom, Linda, even warned me, Mark, girls like that don't settle down easy. But I thought we were different. We bought a small house in the suburbs, my brother Luke helped me fix it up, and life was good. Emily played the doting wife, bringing meals to the firehouse, posting, proud firefighter's wife. Selfies on Instagram, soaking in the attention. Then the accident happened. It was a bad fire. Chaos everywhere. In the mess of it, I made a call that cost a civilian their life. The investigation came down hard. Said it was negligence. The media crucified me. And instead of backing me, the department cut me loose. 6 months in county. That was my sentence. 6 months of rotting in a cell, while my wife promised to wait for me. She wrote letters at first, told me she loved me, that she was counting the days. But even then, something felt off. Her visits got less frequent. Her letters got shorter, colder. She stopped signing them, love always, and started signing them, take care. Still, I held on to the hope that at least when I got out, I'd have her waiting for me. Turns out, I was dead wrong. Prison has a way of stripping you down to your bones. No badge, no gear, no hero title. Just another guy in orange. At first, Emily visited every weekend. She'd show up in tight jeans, hair done, smelling like her expensive perfume. She'd hug me, whisper, "We'll get through this, baby." I clung to that. But after the first month, the visits slowed. She'd cancel last minute, saying she was too busy with work, or not feeling good. Letters went from 2 pages to half a page. Then down to a couple sentences. Hope you're okay. Things are stressful here. I brushed it off. Told myself she was young, overwhelmed, dealing with the stigma of being a fireman's wife turned convict's wife. Then one day, I overheard 2 inmates talking. One of them, a guy who used to run with some shady folks in my town, leaned over and said, "Hey Turner, you know your girl's not exactly waiting around, right? My buddy saw her at O'Malley's with some dude. All over each other." I laughed it off at first. Denied it. But inside I felt that cold pit forming in my stomach. The next time she visited, I watched her closer. She wore new jewelry I'd never seen before. A delicate gold necklace. A bracelet that didn't look cheap. She brushed it off when I asked, saying, "Oh, I treated myself. Don't get so suspicious." And then she kissed me goodbye, quick, distracted, nothing like the deep kisses we used to share. That's when it hit me, someone else was kissing her like that now. I didn't have proof yet. Just instincts, and that ugly pit in my gut. But I knew something was wrong. And I promised myself that when I got out, I'd find out exactly what. The day I got out, I felt like I could finally breathe again. 6 months locked up feels like 6 years. All I wanted was a shower, a hot meal, and to crawl into bed with my wife. My brother Luke drove me home. On the way, he kept glancing at me like he wanted to say something but didn't. I figured he was just nervous, didn't know how to talk about the accident. When we pulled up to my house, there was a car in the driveway I didn't recognize. Sleek, newer model, tinted windows. Not the kind of car my neighbors drove. "Who's here?" I asked Luke. He shifted uncomfortably. "Mark, maybe you should." I didn't let him finish. I bolted out of the truck and walked inside. And there he was. Some guy, standing in my kitchen in my t-shirt, holding a coffee mug like he owned the place. Emily came down the stairs a second later, hair wet from the shower, wrapped in one of my towels. She froze when she saw me. "Mark," she said, voice flat, like she wasn't shocked, just inconvenienced? I looked at the guy. Who the hell are you? He smirked. Name's Jason. I live here now. I thought my blood was going to boil out of my veins. Emily finally spoke, arms crossed, bitch tone in full swing. Don't act so surprised, Mark. You left me alone. 6 months is a long time. Jason's been here for me. He's stable. He's not a screw-up who kills people at work. That last line hit like a truck. She used the accident, the thing that's haunted me every damn night, as ammo. I wanted to tear the whole house apart. Instead, I just stared at her and said, "This is how you welcome your husband home?" She rolled her eyes, grabbed Jason's arm, and said, "You ruined your life, Mark. Don't blame me for finding someone who can actually take care of me." That was the moment I knew Emily wasn't my wife anymore. She was my enemy. After that scene in the kitchen, I didn't last 10 minutes in the house. I grabbed the duffel bag Luke had packed for me, walked out without a word, and crashed at his place that night. But let me tell you, I didn't sleep. I just lay there on his couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying the look on Jason's smug face. The way Emily didn't even flinch when she basically told me I wasn't good enough anymore. And worst of all, that line about the accident. He's not a screw-up who kills people at work. That cut me deeper than any prison bar ever did. I started second-guessing everything. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was a screw-up. Maybe I deserved to lose her. Who wants a husband with a criminal record? Who wants the guy who messed up so badly someone died? The humiliation was suffocating. My parents called that night to check in, and I couldn't even tell them. My mom kept asking, "So did Emily make your favorite dinner like she promised?" I mumbled something and hung up before my voice cracked. Luke tried to talk to me, but I pushed him away. My sister Jenna texted, "So happy you're home, can't wait to see you." And I stared at the screen until my eyes blurred. I felt like a shell. Not a fireman. Not a husband. Not even a man. And yet, buried under the shame, a little ember of anger flickered. Because as much as I blamed myself, I knew damn well Emily could have chosen loyalty. She could have waited. 6 months isn't forever. But she didn't. She replaced me like I was nothing. That ember was the only thing that kept me from breaking completely. I hit my breaking point 2 weeks later. I'd been sleeping on Luke's couch, barely eating, replaying Emily's words over and over. One morning, I caught myself staring in the bathroom mirror, looking like a ghost of the guy I used to be, thinner, hollow-eyed, beaten. And I thought, if I stay like this, they win. Jason gets my house. Emily gets my dignity. And I get nothing. That ember of anger in my gut roared to life. So I made a choice. I wasn't going to scream, I wasn't going to beg, and I sure as hell wasn't going to play the victim anymore. I was going to take everything back, on my terms. First move, lawyer up. Luke hooked me up with a buddy of his who specialized in family and property law. Turns out the house? Still in my name. The truck Jason was driving? Mine. The savings account Emily drained for bills? Traceable. Second move, gather evidence. I dug into phone records, bank statements, even her Instagram DMs. Luke knew a guy who owed him a favor. The receipts painted the picture crystal clear. Vacations, dinners, jewelry. All on my dime. And the affair? Started long before prison. Jason wasn't some rebound. He was a side piece she elevated the second I was out of the way. Third move, play it cool. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I let her think I was licking my wounds, too broken to fight. Meanwhile, I was stacking the deck. Because if Emily wanted a war, she forgot one thing about me. I've fought fires my whole life. And I was about to burn her whole lie to the ground. The more distance I put between myself and Emily, the more desperate she got to control the story. First, she started calling my mom. Telling her I was unstable, after prison, that I was lashing out, and paranoid. My mom, bless her, didn't buy it. She's known me her whole life. But it still stung hearing that Emily was out there rewriting the narrative. Then she tried my sister Jenna. Told her. I never wanted to leave Mark, but he pushed me away. Jason just stepped in when I needed someone. Jenna saw right through it and called me immediately, saying, Mark, she's full of it. Don't let her spin this. The biggest slap in the face? She had the audacity to show up at Luke's place. Knocked on the door in some sundress, crocodile tears in her eyes, begging me to talk. Jason was in the car outside, arms crossed like he was her bodyguard. When Luke told her to leave, she screamed loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Mark, you're throwing your marriage away. You're letting your pride ruin us. Marriage? Pride? Lady, you moved your boyfriend into my house while I was behind bars. But the real kicker came when she tried to seduce me. No lie. She sent me a late-night text. One last night, just us. You know you miss me. I stared at that message for a long time, imagining all the nights I used to lie awake missing her touch, thinking she was mine. Now I knew, while I was aching for her, she was with him. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Because I had the proof. And soon, everyone else would too. Even with all the proof in my hands, I couldn't shake the humiliation. Nights were the worst. I'd lie awake on Luke's couch, staring at the ceiling fan, replaying the accident that landed me in prison, then replaying Emily's voice calling Jason a real man. The two failures blurred together until I couldn't tell which cut deeper, the fire I couldn't control, or the wife I couldn't keep. I stopped eating. Dropped 20 pounds in a month. Luke's girlfriend pulled him aside one night. I overheard her whispering. He looks like he's dying inside. My dad tried to snap me out of it. Took me fishing, just like we used to. But even standing by the water with a line in my hand, all I could picture was Jason in my chair at the kitchen table, drinking coffee from my mug, wearing my shirt. The image ate me alive. The shame was crushing. I couldn't face people at the grocery store. Couldn't answer texts from old buddies at the firehouse. Every time my mom said she was proud of me for holding on, I wanted to scream. And there were moments, dark ones, where I thought maybe Emily was right. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I was just a washed-up fireman with blood on his hands, a felon whose wife upbraided the second he faltered. But here's the thing about hitting bottom. Once you're there, the only way left is up. That ember of anger inside me, the one I kept trying to smother with shame, finally flared. If Emily thought she could bury me, she was about to learn something important. I fight fires. And fire is all I had left to give. The flip switched one night around 3 a.m. I was sitting at Luke's kitchen table, staring at the pile of evidence I'd gathered, bank statements, phone records, screenshots of Emily's messages to Jason. My hands weren't shaking anymore. For the first time since prison, I felt steady. That's when I realized I wasn't broken. I was sharpening. Emily thought I'd crawl back, begging for scraps of what was left of our marriage. Jason thought he'd slide into my life and wear my skin like a costume. But neither of them had a clue who they were dealing with. I made 3 promises to myself that night. 1. I'd take back what was mine. The house, the truck, the savings, all of it. 2. I'd expose them for exactly what they were. No more whispers, no more gaslighting. The truth was going to burn. 3. I'd walk away stronger. Not a victim, not a man defined by a mistake, but someone who rose out of the ashes they left me in. From that moment on, I stopped sulking. I hit the gym with Luke every morning, ate like a man training for war. Started working with my lawyer every afternoon, building the case brick by brick. And at night? I slept. For the first time in months, I actually slept. Because I knew the day was coming when Emily and Jason would look me in the eye and realize the man they thought they broke was the man who was about to ruin them. Once my head was clear, the plan came together fast. Step 1 was reclaiming my ground. The house and truck were in my name, not Emily's, and Jason was squatting. My lawyer filed the paperwork while I kept quiet. No warning shots. I wanted them blindsided. Step 2 was gathering the kind of proof no one could deny. I had bank records showing Emily pulled thousands out of our joint savings for weekend getaways. I had screenshots of her telling Jason, "I never felt this alive with Mark." And best of all? Photos. Luke's buddy spotted them at a hotel 2 towns over and snapped shots of Jason holding her hand, Emily draped all over him. Timestamped, dated, damning. Step 3: the stage. My mom was hosting a family cookout, big event, everyone there. My parents, siblings, cousins, even some of Emily's family. Perfect. She loved playing the perfect wife in public, and I was about to rip the mask off in front of all of them. I kept it cool in the days leading up. Emily actually had the nerve to text me, "You should stop being so bitter. Maybe if you grow up, we could still be friends." Friends. She replaced me in my own house and wanted to stay friends. I didn't reply. I just smiled. Because she had no idea the hammer was about to drop. On the day of the cookout, I showed up calm, binder in hand. Emily strutted in with Jason like they were the new power couple, holding hands, acting smug. They thought they'd won. They were about to find out I'd been playing a different game all along. The cookout started like any other family get-together. Kids running around, burgers sizzling on the grill, my dad cracking jokes with Luke. Then Emily showed up. In a sundress, hair done, wearing that smug little smile I used to think was charming. Jason trailed behind her, sunglasses on, carrying a 6-pack like he belonged there. My stomach flipped, but my face stayed cool. She had the gall to walk right up and kiss my cheek. "Good to see you, Mark," she purred, like she hadn't gutted me. Jason clapped me on the back like we were old buddies. My mom's jaw tightened, she already hated the sight of them. We ate, we chatted, and just as everyone was settling in for dessert, I stood up and tapped my glass. "I've got something to share." Emily gave me a death glare instantly. Jason smirked. I opened the binder and handed the first copies to my mom and dad. DNA? No. Bank statements. Screenshots. Photos. Proof of the money she stole, proof of the affair going back before prison. Proof she was never the faithful wife she claimed to be. Gasps around the table. My sister Jenna read one of the texts aloud without realizing. "You make me feel alive in ways Mark never could." She froze. Dropped the page like it burned her. Emily shot to her feet, face red, and hissed, "Mark, how dare you air private matters in front of everyone?" I kept my voice calm. "This isn't private. This is theft. This is betrayal. And this is me taking my life back." Jason tried to speak, but my dad cut him off. "Get out of my yard, boy, before I throw you out." Emily spun in circles, looking for an ally, but no one moved. Even her own brother muttered, "Jesus, Em," and shook his head. And in that moment I saw it, the mask crack. The queen bee who thought she had everyone wrapped around her finger was standing alone. I sat back down, took a sip of beer, and said, "You wanted to replace me? Fine. But you don't get to erase me." The fallout from that cookout was instant. By the next morning, half my phone contacts had heard the story. My cousin texted, "Bro, I thought you were exaggerating, but holy shit, she was cheating the whole time?" Another buddy from the firehouse messaged, "Man, I knew something was up when I saw her at O'Malley's with that guy. Should have told you sooner." It spread fast, because people love a scandal, and this one had everything: the fireman, the prison stint, the loyal wife, who turned out to be a snake. Emily tried her damage control routine. She posted some long, dramatic Facebook rant about how I ambushed her and made her look bad in front of family. Claimed I was bitter and couldn't accept that she'd moved on. But nobody bought it. Not with the receipts floating around. Screenshots have a way of speaking louder than crocodile tears. Her friends started dropping her one by one. The same women who used to gush over her Instagram, firefighter wife, posts suddenly stopped commenting. One even DM'd me, "I'm so sorry, Mark. She told us you were abusive." I can't believe how much she lied. Even her own parents called me. Her mom, voice shaking, said, "We had no idea. We're ashamed. She won't listen to us. I don't know who she is anymore." And Jason? He became a punchline. Guys at the bar called him the squatter, because word got out he'd been living rent-free in my house, driving my truck, eating off my dime. For the first time since prison, I felt the shame lift off me. Everyone could finally see the truth. Emily wanted to paint me as the villain. But now, the whole town knew who the real one was. Once the truth was out, Emily's perfect life collapsed like wet cardboard. Her family wanted nothing to do with her. Her mom stopped answering calls. Her dad told me point blank, "Mark, she shamed this family. I don't know how she looks at herself in the mirror." Her brother went as far as blocking her on social media after she tried posting some "woe is me" nonsense. Her friends? Gone. The same girls she used to do wine nights with stopped inviting her. Turns out they didn't like being used as alibis for her hotel trips. And Jason, the real man, she traded me for? Yeah, he bailed fast. The moment I took back the house and truck, he realized there was nothing left to mooch. Word around town was he ghosted her and moved in with some bartender. I heard from a mutual acquaintance that Emily ended up couch surfing at a friend's place. She'd burned through what was left of our savings. Her reputation was trashed, and she couldn't show her face without whispers following her. One night, she even showed up at Luke's house. I'll never forget it, mascara running, hair a mess, begging me on the porch. "Mark, please, we can fix this. We had something real. Don't throw away our marriage because of one mistake." One mistake? She built a life on that mistake. I looked at her, felt nothing, and said, "You threw it away. I'm just the one taking out the trash." Luke shut the door. She stood there crying for a while before finally leaving. And just like that, the woman who thought she was untouchable was nothing. After that porch scene, I knew it was time to end things officially. No more lingering ties, no more half-open doors she could try to slither back through. I met with my lawyer again and filed for divorce. With everything I'd gathered, bank records, photos, proof she'd drained our savings, it was cut and dry. She didn't fight it. She couldn't. The house? Mine. The truck? Mine. The little cash she tried to skim off? Judge ordered restitution. Watching her face in that courtroom was surreal. She looked small. No makeup, hair tied back, clothes wrinkled like she'd slept in them. This wasn't the Emily who used to strut into firehouse dinners like she was auditioning for a reality show. This was someone gutted by her own choices. When the judge finalized everything, I felt this weight slide off my shoulders. Like chains I didn't realize I was carrying had just snapped. She made one last attempt after court. Walked up to me, voice trembling, and said, "Mark, you know you'll never find someone who loved you the way I did." I didn't even look at her. I just said, "Thank God." And that was it. The cord was cut. From that day forward, Emily wasn't my wife, my problem, or my shadow anymore. She was just a chapter I'd finally closed. And now, all that was left was figuring out who I was without her lies weighing me down. With Emily gone for good, I finally had the space to breathe. First thing I did was reclaim my house. I spent an entire weekend hauling out every trace of her, the dresses still hanging in the closet, her makeup cluttering the bathroom, even that stupid "Live, Laugh, Love" sign she insisted on hanging in the kitchen. Dumped it all in garbage bags, dropped them off at Goodwill, and scrubbed the place top to bottom. It felt like shedding a skin I didn't realize I'd been suffocating in. Then I turned inward. I hit the gym with Luke every morning. At first, it was just about burning off anger, but pretty soon the weight came back, not the prison skinny, not the hollow-eyed wreck, but muscle. I started to look like myself again. I found work too, not back on the front lines, but training new recruits at the academy. Teaching them fire safety, showing them how to avoid the mistakes I made. It was humbling, but it gave me purpose. For the first time since the accident, I felt useful again. Evenings, I spent time with family. My mom and dad invited me over constantly. Jenna brought her kids by the house. They filled the silence with laughter and chaos. Slowly, I remembered what it was like to feel alive. And for me? I picked up the guitar again. Sat on the porch strumming until my fingers ached. Something about the music soothed me, like I was tuning myself back into who I used to be before life burned down around me. Emily was out there somewhere, bitter, broke, abandoned by Jason and everyone else she'd clung to. But I didn't care. For once, her downfall wasn't my concern. Because I wasn't living in her wreckage anymore. I was building something new. It's been over a year since I walked out of that prison and straight into the wreckage of my marriage. Back then, I thought Emily's betrayal would be the end of me. Turns out, it was just the fire I needed to forge something stronger. Don't get me wrong, the scars are still there. I still think about the accident, about the guy who lost his life because of my mistake. I still think about the nights I cried on Luke's couch, starving myself because I felt like less than a man. But those scars remind me of what I survived. Emily? She thought she broke me. She thought I'd be the bitter ex rotting in shame while she played house with Jason in my home. Instead, she lost everything: her family, her friends, her reputation, her meal ticket boyfriend. And me? I got my house back. My dignity back. My life back. I'm closer to my family than ever. I've rebuilt my body, my career, and my confidence. I even started dating again, slowly, cautiously, but without bitterness. The woman I'm seeing now? She's kind, grounded, nothing like Emily's fake glitz. She likes me for who I am, not for the image of a fireman's wife. If there's one thing I'd tell anyone reading this, it's this. Cheating isn't about you being not enough. It's about them being selfish and empty. Don't waste energy screaming at liars. Gather the truth, and let the truth do the screaming. Revenge feels good. Rebuilding feels better. Exposing Emily gave me peace for a night. Reclaiming myself gave me peace for life. At the end of the day, I'm not the man who lost his wife. I'm the man who walked out of the fire, prison, betrayal, all of it, and built something new from the ashes. And that's a story Emily will never get to be part of again. I have many other stories. Go to my channel, subscribe so you don't lose us. Give me a thumbs up.